Imagine tomorrow morning you wake up in Tokyo. You don't speak a word of Japanese, but you walk into a coffee shop and you see people laughing, flirting, arguing, falling in love, making plans, apologizing, breaking up, throwing Hadoukens, going Super Saiyan 3. Everyone around you understands exactly what's happening, except your black ass. To you, it's just noise. And you know what? Dating can feel exactly like that. Not because women are impossible to understand, but because men spend their lives listening to women's words instead of the hidden language underneath. And you know what's crazy? Women aren't hiding this language. They're broadcasting it all day, every freaking day. But most men were never taught how to understand it. Now, before any keyboard warriors get angry and start typing,
"Women aren't a different species."
Correct, mon frere. Indeed, they're not. This isn't a David Attenborough documentary. And here we have the female, cautiously approaching the watering hole while the male attempts his act of seduction by explaining the finer points of cryptocurrency. Nah. What we're talking about is something so much bigger than dating. We're talking about human communication. Because once you understand this, rude boy, you won't just become better with women. You'll be better with people. White people, black people, Indonesian people, trans people, hashtag people. And that starts with something almost nobody thinks about. Your body starts talking long before your mouth ever does. Think back to the last time you met someone. How long did it take before you formed an opinion? 10 minutes? 5? Probably not. Psychologist Nalini Ambady became famous for research on what she called thin slices of behavior. In one set of studies, people formed surprisingly consistent impressions of teachers after only watching a few seconds of silent video. The point wasn't that first impressions are perfect. They're not. The point was that human beings make judgments. Muito rápido. Long before anyone gives a speech, long before anyone says,
"Hey, how you doing?"
Your posture has already spoken. Your walk has already spoken. Your facial expression has already spoken. Even your breathing has joined the chat well before you've had a chance to type ASL. Most men think attraction begins with the perfect opening line. It doesn't. It starts with whether the other person feels relaxed or tensed around you. Here's the irony. The man desperately trying to look confident usually looks less confident than the dude quietly waiting for his coffee and wondering why it now costs the same as a small mortgage. Confidence isn't loud, bro. Confidence is calm. And here's something that used to completely baffle yours truly. Have you ever spent ages getting ready? Combed your hair, cleaned your shoes, doused yourself in enough aftershave to violate several international treaties, only for the first thing your woman says be,
"You've got a tiny coffee stain on your sleeve."
How? How did she even see it? She was standing 4 feet away. Was she issued military-grade vision at birth? Well, actually, yes. Research suggests that on average, women perform better than men on certain tasks involving recognizing facial emotions and interpreting small non-verbal cues. This doesn't mean that every dame is Sherlock Holmes. Nor does it mean that every man is mindlessly rampaging through life with the grace of a blind Labrador. There are averages, not rules, young Padawan.
Hello there.
But I do point towards something interesting. You see, if somebody notices tiny details, they're probably noticing more than the coffee stain. They're noticing whether your smile reaches your eyes, whether you're forcing confidence, whether your body language matches your words, whether you're trying far too hard. And here's a truth that took me years to understand. You can't fake confidence. You can't fake relaxation. Your nervous system always leaves fingerprints. Which brings us to the next part of this language. Emotion. Most men think communication is about transferring information. Woman asks question, man gives answer, job done. Except that's not how human communication works. Imagine your girlfriend thinks you've cheated on her, but you haven't. Not even close. You got receipts, messages, photos, enough evidence to make a defense lawyer weep with joy. What do most men do? Bombard her with statistics. Well, actually, at precisely 7:14 I was, nah, stop. Because in that moment, she isn't necessarily struggling with information. She's struggling with emotion. The question underneath the question often isn't,
Can you prove this?
it's,
Am I safe with you?
that doesn't mean facts don't matter. Of course they do. Truth matters, evidence matters, but if someone is emotionally overwhelmed, leading with a spreadsheet is a bit like trying to put out a house fire with a water pistol. A far better place to begin is empathy, to communicate with emotional intensity that matches her own. I understand why you'd feel hurt. If I thought that, I would probably feel the same. I love you and I would never, ever knowingly hurt you. Once the emotional door is open, logic has somewhere to walk through. Women rarely absorb information when they feel unheard. By the way, if you are enjoying this kind of breakdown of psychology and human behavior, do my inner child a favor. Hit the like button, subscribe, and leave yours truly a comment telling him which point has surprised you the most thus far. It really helps the channel, and more importantly, it tells me to make more videos like this. One last thing before we move on. If you've been watching this and are thinking, I've spent years trying to memorize the right things to say instead of becoming the sort of man who naturally communicates confidence, that's exactly why I wrote The Recovering Nice Guy. It's not a book about cheesy pickup lines. It's about becoming the man who no longer needs them. Ray will leave a link on screen if you'd like to check it out. And now, let's get cracking, because the next mistake almost every man makes is trying to solve a problem that was never asking to be solved.